important was it to get that win at Treviso?
Yeah, it was. You know, we've had some tough lessons learned over the last month or so in terms of dropping points clearly, and learning lessons along the way around some good individual performances and where the players are going to fit and getting the benefits long term. But it is a results business, and 0 from 3 with a lot of points to catch up. We've got to enjoy the chase now, and picking up some points to do that was important last weekend, and I think it's something we can seize on now and go into a home game against a well-resourced Connacht side with a bit of momentum now, and it is about that coming for the next block of games.
What pleased you most about it, performance-wise?
Our set piece has been showing some, good learnings on and off through the first block, but it came together a little bit more, which is testimony to the amount of work the players are doing together, and also knowing, probably some of the physical challenge they're going to face in a game like Treviso. You've got to put the set pieces in the right area and then be able to play it off them. And in terms of some of our set piece attack, then we actually moved Treviso about more than we have previous sides, and obviously we created some more speed, and it's nice to get over the whitewash in that respect then.
Yeah, were you pleased with the back play and the attack play there, Gruff? You made 10 clean breaks behind the scrum.
Yeah, it was better. We had a better platform to do so in terms of creating speed of ball, so there was some adjustments to how we played. And I think, looking at the first block of games, Munster tactically was a good performance, and arguably, 18-13 up, we could have got a result. We'd have had a lot of well-dones, but we fell short in the away trips, so we had to fine-tune a little bit of our attacking game, really, to fit what we want from this group, and we challenged them to do a bit more ball in hand, and we were able to do that because of the platform we did. Again, it was far from perfect, mind. We were slightly awry on one or two of our running lines, and some of our finishing off wasn't as we'd have hoped, but we've gone there in a tricky place that we've seen in the past and just about done the job.
I guess it's important to back it up this weekend.
Yeah, it is, for the reasons we said earlier. We want to enjoy chasing these sides that have picked up some points on us now at the top end, and enjoy that, but it comes in home games against Connacht. Like I said, I've got full admiration for the progress they've made over the last 12-18 months as a side, understanding that they're pretty well supported by the IRFU now, but they've got a crop of young players who buy into what Pat Lam is looking to do. They play some good rugby. Their try-scoring totals show that they're moving the ball around, but they've still got a bit of old-school Connacht ruggedness as well, so they'll present a good challenge this weekend.
For this week, how many of you World Cup players you're going to be reintroducing?
They're all going through, depending on the amount of rugby they've had. We're going through the process in terms of checking them off medically. For example, someone like Dan Bigger's got a head injury assessment protocol anyway, so he's come in and done that, asked about what is going on, but obviously hugely unlikely to be involved. But there's a couple of others who may be in the mix, but we've got to look at not just where they are now in terms of them saying they're fit and ready to go, but understanding this is a block of another 15 games in a row. So that's tough to balance out and manage based around this competition, our need to get points, but also about what's around the corner as well.
Currently, the likes of Ali Wynn probably need a holiday, don't they?
Yeah, and they'll get a break. There's a couple of them who are just going straight into a break now.
What about the likes of James King then? James didn't have a lot of rugby, Aaron Jarvis. Are those guys likely to sort of resurface this week?
They're in the mix around training. We've got to make a call, again, how they are physically. We can't just assume that they're going to be fit and ready to play as Ospreys. We've got to go for our own medical screening to support the work they've done with the WRU, and then get them up to speed with our world as well. Sometimes it's not an easy transition, but those the players concerned, they'd all want to play, but we'll make the decision on what's right for them, but the team also.
Were you proud of their efforts, over the past month?
Hugely, yeah. I think it was a fantastic tournament for Wales in general, but you do look at it with a biased eye towards the Osprey players, and each to a man were fantastic, what they put into it week in, week out. Sometimes they defy rugby logic in my eye, that they're so competitive and able to win tough games the way they do. And sometimes it's pure durability and resilience and toughness, and immensely proud of them to a man.
Connacht this weekend, how do you assess them?
like I said, they've made real progress, and I think for them they've got ambitions as well, as I said, because they've had the support to have those ambitions. Financially, they're well resourced. You see someone like Bundyaki come into the system. He's become a key player for them, with the biggest amount of defenders beaten in the league. And young players in and around those sort of smart recruits. I like someone like Jack Carty as a 10. Ronaldson came in last weekend. They've got some good movers in that back line. Marmion as a 9, I remember seeing in Newark, is a real threat, and it's been nice to see him progress to an Island international, as well as I think one of the best back threes in the league, regardless of players being away this time of the year. O'Halloran, Healy, Pullman, positionally good, but they're all individual threats as well. So they present an exciting challenge, which we want to take head on.
Sam Davis, how has he been performing for you?
It's been difficult for Sam. He's had to play in a side which has been slightly shackled, perhaps with a lack of go forward at times, and playing in some tough places where we've probably put some stress on ourselves, and he's probably tried to overdo things on occasions, but we back him 100%. We understand the ability he's got, and I think we're trying to create a game which hopefully last week can start us off on a nice path of creating a bit of a pathway that he hasn't got to do all and everything. He can just let the game flow a little bit. Trust his 9, who's actually becoming a growing influence for us in terms of Brendan coming into the game. But also Josh coming back into play will certainly help him as well, because he, as we know, is a good eyes and ears for the 10, and helping the team dynamic the way we do want to play some good rugby.
How did Josh go last week?
Yeah, he was pretty good. Yeah, he got a couple of good carries early on. And like I said, he just helps some of the forwards around him. The forwards have got their own physical challenges on a constant basis, but in open play situations where there's times we haven't been great this year, he pulls the right people out, and you've suddenly got some options to actually play between defenders, and he's a key element of that. We saw it with our main sort of team last year, and it's probably the first time some of these players have got used to having someone like Josh on the field, but it was hopefully a springboard for what can come next.
Last question really. Do you see Sam as a long-term Wales squad member?
Potentially, yeah. I think he's like a lot of the young players. I think they've got to earn that, and I think with the sort of pathway we've got in Wales, and the coaching of the senior group in Wales, they will make them earn it, and I think you do that by constantly putting on the regional shirt. And he's obviously picking up a fair bit of experience in the Osprey shirt now, and he keeps growing all the time with it. His points tally, I think, was he the 5th or 6th highest Osprey points scorer, so he's getting a lot of good experience playing at this level with us, and I think as he continues to develop as a man, things will probably progress a little bit more for him.
Griff, it is what it is. How frustrating though is this disjointed start for everyone in terms of coaches, players and fans following this competition?
Yeah, I think in some ways the competition could have done with more. It's obviously gone under the radar, which you've got to understand. They're on the World Cup, but it's disappointing. But then you've got to try and make the best of the calendar. We haven't enjoyed you've had a real strong pre-season, then you play a couple of games, then you're off for 2-3 weeks. You play a game, you're off again. And that hasn't suited probably the way we like to get a bit of momentum, regardless of the good, bad or indifferent performances. We want to go again and build and build and build and keep going. But you've just got to adapt and understand that the season as it is a tough one, but you've just got to be excited by what comes ahead. And we have got a 15-week block now where you're going to find out quickly about where the players are at and where the group's going to go in these competitions.
Crucially, this few weeks is so important because perhaps in the last few years in Europe, for example, you perhaps haven't come out of the blocks in that competition. So if you can gain momentum here, it's obviously beneficial.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we've got, as I said, faith in what we're doing here, but also excited by the fact we think we've got a group who can really have a top performance, hopefully with a well-supported crowd on the weekend at a difficult kick-off time perhaps, but Saturday afternoon it is. They can come out, really get behind the team, which will support us, and then it is again another springboard towards a tough Glasgow fixture, and then Zebra, you're rolling into Europe. It's exciting, and we've got to embrace everything that's ahead of us.
Griff, no Northern Hemisphere teams in the last 4, is it? Panic stations in this part of the world in terms of rugby going forward?
I think it's probably a debate for another time. I'm just excited by the fact I think we're playing now. It is a vibrant league. You look at us, the Irish and the Scots. National squads are all well coached and well supported, but domestic players hopefully playing in a Celtic league, which has got a real strong and meaningful level of competition now. And I think that's all we can do. There's different structures and systems to support that, but let's get a bit excited that Celtic rugby, I think, is in a reasonably strong place.
It's going to be tough to reel in the likes of the Scarlets and Edinburgh at the moment with flying starts to the season.
Yeah, I think the World Cup it just sometimes can distort the picture, but you've got to get on with it. A side like Edinburgh, again, the resource they've got, and a Connacht, we did expect them to be flying near the top of the table. Sides like Leinster and Glasgow, much like ourselves, are hampered, and they take a heavy hit off it. But I think, to be fair, the Scarlets a good exception, losing a couple of good players, but that's a tremendous result. My hat's tipped off to them. But again, we'll be excited by the chase. I think a couple of years ago we lost our first 3 and we went on a real good run in terms of winning 16 out of 19. Just missing the top 4 then, we give ourselves a real fighting chance to do so. I'd expect this group to have that same fight about them too.